We live?
Justin, we are live, mate. Get off your phone. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. You had a good weekend?
Yeah? Did you take the kids do anything fun? Beach?
Mate, it was a really nice weekend here. So yeah, just kids sports and a bit of outdoor activities and the usual sort of things. But I'm a bit of a glorified Uber driver nowadays, mate. Just running the kids around. So, but yeah, no, it was fun. It was a beautiful weekend. You can definitely feel a bit of a change in the air in terms of seasons. So I think we're sort of moving out of summer now and going into our autumn. But yeah, and then, but what about yourself, Joe?
It's actually going from winter finally into like warmer weather here in Chicago.
Awesome.
Hello there, someone in chat.
Nice.
We have one person watching us right now. That's awesome. This is our highest
great.
stream ever.
That's awesome. It's because I'm on and Christina's not on for a change. But yeah, apologies everybody. Christina is, I think she's had a long weekend, so I said that I'd fill in for her. But we've got a few to get through today, so we're going to just launch straight into it. There was a really good turnout in terms of the number of entries, which was fantastic. And, I went through all of them and, I was really actually impressed with the quality of some of the entries, which was great. Just seeing people actually, listening to some of the advice that we've been giving back. And, yes, you can see that the levels or the standard is definitely lifted. Is that Amber in the chat? I think it is, right, Amber? Excellent. And yours is up first. So let me just share my screen. I'm just going to pull that one up. To that.
I'm a sucker for this one because just the nostalgic of a Commodore.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What was your first game system?
On? Sorry, mate, I just cut you off. I just cut you off then. I wanted to share our screen then. That's me. It's Amber. All right, let's be harsh. Let's be harsh in the critique and the feedback, Joe. Mate, I'll let you go first. I'm just going to bring it up. And go for it.
Scrolling. Yeah, the establishing shot's really great. I mean, the attention to the detail, nice composition, the depth of field. I even like the little touches of like the floppy disks and Barbarian 2 on there. And then when I scroll down, I like seeing more of the details, like just everything is looking nice and good. There's not too much wear and tear. I like how you brought down the actual information in terms of what you modeled, giving credit to someone else who's worked on content, which is completely fine. Remember we said that, it's about being smart. These drills are, to test how you can create content. So good job on that. You're very clear on what you created. I like the wireframes of the controller. I can't really complain on that content. You did a good job with your actual breakdown of gathering reference as well. So in my mind, you did a great job. It would be cool. The only thing I would include in here again is feel free to kind of like work in that slider kind of viewport to show off the different textures on here, just so we can see like, hey, that's what the color albedo map's doing, the roughness, the metallic. But overall, you're great presentation. It's looking really good.
Yeah, I think, my feedback would be, and, this is something, Amber, that you can, work on, like, now that you sort of finished it, is, this scene, I think it's awesome. I love that the way it's sort of been compositive. The floppy disk, to me, and the cord feel like they're brand new. When I look at the actual controller itself, I love all the detail. I think it's, and you're playing, you got to be careful with the depth of field as well. Sometimes people overdo it, and, you can see that you just catch it on that corner, that sort of level through there. Just be careful with, where that depth of field is focused on. I think, you have managed just to keep it in the center, which is great. And I think, some of the edges maybe on here, I would look at maybe just, having a little bit more wear and tear. It just feels a little bit sharp on some of these, considering how old this thing is and how much wear and tear is happening to the other parts of it. But yeah, the actual cord and the floppy disk are all, they look brand new. So it would be cool to bring their story into the same story as what you've got the controller. even the decals that you've got on that, I would look at, maybe just giving some wear and tear on top of them as well. You've got some great detail on the buttons, but again, some of it just feels a bit brand new. So, I mean, like I said, it's just little things. You can see here, the cord, it feels like it's straight out of the shop. And these floppy disks over here, just love to see some of that just brought into the same world as what your controller is. Like Jay, I've got no more to add to sort of the modeling. You've got sort of that intersecting there, but you can't even tell that it's part of that. So just need to unify the whole world so that it feels like it's sitting in the same world as what that controller is. And she completely agrees. Well, that's good. That's a good start. Excellent. Overall, I think, I love, it's a really fun piece. Anything that is a period piece, and you can see you've got your decal there that you've probably grabbed. But anything like this period piece stuff, when you get to review it, I think it's so much there's so much nostalgia behind it that it's really fun for people to look at.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, just honestly, and what I would do is I would add those little tweaks like Alwyn mentioned about like making everything feel a little bit more dirtier in just a case because the controller is. It'll be just like, and even fun, like even taking some of those floppy things and putting like a sticker on there, like saying like $1.99 are used or something that kind of be like, oh, like I know that sometimes things are in boxes, but also sometimes back in the day, floppy disks used to be sold like that and they'd have stickers on it because I used to buy them.
You still do.
I know, right?
And just even actually just looking at the Rubik's Cube, right? Like it'd be cool to see little chunks taken out of some of those stickers, even though it's out of focus. It still looks like it's brand new. And I think just even the table, like I said, it's the next 10% that'll just really lift this piece, and I think it would be a great one for your portfolio. Cool. So let's move to the next one. I'm just going to crack this one open, pull it across here. And Jamie have gone through and we've selected our top 7 or 8 that we think, is sort of at that level that we need to give feedback to. There was obviously some entries this week that weren't completed and, people know that they didn't finish them or, but we've tried to pick out some, entries that really could do with the feedback. Jay, thoughts on this one?
First thing off the bat, really great presentation. What dragged me to this one is not only the the textual detail. It's if you look at where it says Nintendo GameCube, he's starting to give that little effect of like where you're talking about, even on the A button, just like the logo kind of getting kind of like worn off just a little bit. And even if you look on the A button, it's just kind of getting worn off a little bit. So like it's got great tessellation, nice and round, smooth. I like there's like there's a little bit breakup on the actual surface of it. Like the Nintendo GameCube kind of getting broken up logo-wise was a really nice touch. I mean, it's nice, really nice presentation. I would have liked to, again, like another thing I'd like to see is just like the different maps on it, but everything else is looking good.
Yeah, and I think that, a lot of the feedback from the last one is similar to this. Again, the cord, people, want to spend a lot of time on the actual main asset, but then, secondary assets get dropped in and there isn't the same level of, attention to detail. And it's really jarring, particularly if me reviewing people's work or Justin, you kind of like go, yeah, that's awesome, but you've left out that part. Like your attention to detail is not there. And when you're in the job, that attention to detail is, what really matters, So even adding secondary pieces, if you're not going to spend the time on it, then I would say leave it out. You know what I mean? So we can just focus on this and it's not distracting with that stuff.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think for me, when I look at this asset, there's some good detail. I love, the fact that you've got some, wear on the decal, which is good. I think the button there is the edge is a little bit harsh, like it's just really too sharp, which could do with a little bit of an edge curve there, just to help break that down. When you look at controllers like that, if I see that decal, it's telling me that this thing's been, hammered. It's been, used a lot. So I expect, just to even look at some of those old controllers and you see that, these buttons are almost pushed right inside the actual the cavity here because it's just just that constant use of the thumb being pushed down on it. I just love to see a little bit more. If you're telling a story here with this wear and tear, you've got it on the buttons, but it needs to be on the geometry as well. I just love to see a little bit more of that wear and tear on some of the geo.
Yeah, it looks. Looking at if you scroll down or keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Like you could see it on the left, like the orbital, like the little, not the thumb, like the thumb pad up there on the left, the gray one. So it's got like kind of ingrained stuff, and even with some of the lettering on the buttons, it's nice to kind of see that dirt get kicked in there. But I wouldn't say it's like everything else has got that wear and tear, so it just lightly putting on the edges and some subtle discoloration like you're doing, but just you got some dirt in other areas, like super close.
You can see that they've tried to add it there. And I actually like this presentation. You've actually grounded it on a ground plane. You've got some nice, cool lighting. I think, like, again, it's 10%, right? Even, the chord from here doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit out of focus, but it would be cool, just to add that 10% just to bring it back in. Just, there's a little bit of detail there, just that sharp edge. You can see that you've added that on there, which is cool. Oops. So overall, I think it's actually a really nice piece. You can see if we go to the reference, Jay, you can see these larger little sort of divots that are out of the plastic, on the actual mold itself. You can see that chord's pretty well maintained. Be cool to get that a little bit more control. What's that? Just going to have a look at that a little bit. Yeah, you can see that even the lettering on there is actually embossed, right? So, but good job, excellent. Let's move to the next one. Let me just bring that back to 900. And the next one on our list is this bad boy. The glove. Got a little video with it. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great presentation.
Yeah, the music and everything's hilarious.
Yeah, it suits the style, doesn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
If we go down, we'll have a look at some of the renders of it. What were your thoughts on this one, Joe? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to the reference first because I actually prefer to start at the reference so we can work back from it. So if we have a look at where the story is, you kind of this is great because it's given us the history of this glove, which really builds up to his final render, which I think is fantastic. But you can see all the reference that we've got here. The power glove, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. It was a terrible controller. I actually used it a bunch.
Oh, really? Did you used to have one?
No, it was always like the rich kids that had it, and I remember trying it, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
But the only reason I wanted to get it is just because there was a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare. He had it. He used it, and I was like, "I gotta try it now."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you did a really good job of like documenting and sharing all your content. Always a big fan. This is not just for us. It's a really good kind of internal practice that will help you get better at like displaying and explaining your work, especially when it comes to portfolio reviews. You did a really good job of your unwraps. Everything looks good. I like seeing the progress. Good reference gathering. Topology looks great. Nice wear and tear. I'm digging it. I really don't have much to say on it, if I'm being completely honest. The thumb pad, the directional thumb pad just looks, the only thing, if I'm being super critical, the directional thumb pad looks super sharp. I would have beveled that down. Other than that, everything is looking, it looks good. I like that there's some, especially like on the actual gameplay, like wrist thing, I like seeing the little edges kind of getting moved around, and then like you can tell that there's the part that has like the actual like rivet, like the irregularities, the bumps on the surface, and there's a smoother surface by the D-pad and the actual, what is that one? What button is that? The green button, the green text button, whatever. I'm liking it. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, from my side, I think.
Actually, the one thing I would say is the glove underneath, you see like there's that gray part where you actually put your hand in underneath.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
that fabric.
Even,
Yeah.
yeah, the very like if you go up to the very top, like the one main render of it, it just looks very clean.
Yeah.
That's the little thing.
What is that supposed to be? Is it fabric or is it rubber? Sort of. What is that? What was that? Do you remember, Jay? No.
No,
No.
this is the '80s, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I think it's well presented. Some
Yeah,
beautiful
very
details
clever.
on there. Even from the dirt that sort of goes down into the little alcoves here. I think that's really great. I think there was one thing, yeah, the sharpness. Even though when you look at this on the next render, you can see you've got edge wear breakup. I think it might be just the lighting, but it looks really, really sharp there, like Joe
Yeah,
said. But when we look at it on this angle, you can see you've got some, chips and stuff. I think it'd be cool just to smooth that a little bit and just get some more details there. And then for me, I think you've got the wear that's happening on that decal on the top, which is good. Which was the glow. That was really good. Really nice details. You've got the glass. Yeah, I think I did have a couple of comments, but I think for the most part,
no, John, you did
it
good. Like
works.
I'm looking at your other entries, and this is like it's nice seeing this progression of your skills, and this is actually this is your best work that you've done, so it's really good.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great job. Great job. Not too much to comment on that one, so that's cool. And that one is 24035, 24035. So let's move on to the next one. Open tab, let's pull that one up.
It's the Switch.
This is a Switch. Yeah. Let's move to this. So yeah, I mean, I had a look at this. I don't know about you, Jay, but have you got a Switch, mate? Because I was just wondering. I see that sort of that pattern that's going around the home button, and I was thinking that it's tessellated. But is that actually? I wasn't too sure if it's actually like that or not. But there was a few render errors or issues that I could see. Here you've got the hook, and I could see that there's some rendering. And you don't show a wireframe of the back of it, so it looks like there's a few modeling issues just going on at the back.
You know what it is? It's just it needs that one button, the home button. For some reason, it has very little tessellation compared to every other button. Because
that's what I was thinking. Oh, maybe it's actually like that, but it's not, right? It should be nice and smooth. No. Yeah. So that was the couple of things that I noticed in terms of rendering. And you can't see the back, but you can see.
Great presentation. I like that. There's like you don't have too much wear and tear going on, so it's it's fine that it looks like brand new because it looks like it's supposed to be a product placement. It would be cool to have attach some reference and attach some like renders of the or cuts of the actual texture. Again, when you're doing your drill. It's nice that you kind of explain something.
Dave, I think your 2-minute noodles are ready, mate.
Did you hear the timer? I'm making cookies.
Yeah.
No, it's just one of those things where it's like, just tell us this, like little tips and tricks. Like your presentation looks great. That one home button throws me off massively because everything else has such nice detail, and then that one part is like it looks, like it's just missing it. And then having like some reference and telling us the software you use and maybe sharing some of the actual textures would be, nice. But overall, it's really well done. Nice presentation.
Yeah, and I think you're right because you go back to it being a product shot, and sometimes product shots are really, really hard to do because they're so perfect, right? So that any of these little imperfections, whether it's rendering, or lighting, gets picked up so easily. So you just have to be mindful of the fact that if you're going to do a product shot, that everything has to be, underlying geometry has to be perfect, otherwise it will show up. But good job in getting it done. That was 24277, and then the next one is this guy here. Let's pull that up.
It's Norse.
What?
It's one of our regular contestants, Nor.
Oh, okay.
Nor, you did a great job, except for I'm going to harp on you with one major thing. Bevel your edges, especially if you go down the reference in the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
The edges just feel, the tessellation, it feels nice and round from the top looking down, but those edges for the actual controller just look like they
Oh,
need to be
yeah.
a little softer. Bevel it just a little more. That'll make it, the light will catch the edge that much more too. And the other thing I would say is it looks like it's been scratched up and dirtified just too much. Like it needs to have some places, especially if you look at one of the top main renders. When you, yeah, like right there, like if you look at the top of it, it just looks like there's like kind of a pattern of dirt all over it. Like I would break it up so it's not just all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's some beautiful detail in there. You've done a really good job, and I think you're right. You can see some of the tessellation on that, and just it definitely needs the beveled edges. What I did like was the fact that you actually did do the chord and actually spent the time to do these other parts of it, which is great. Like to be honest,
Yep.
that looks really really cool, and I think you did that part, but I don't think you actually did any of the chord, which makes that stand out, right? So you're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see even the chord could probably do with another smooth on it. And just some of this chipping on the buttons is really subtle, but it's beautiful, really, really nice. Even in
Yeah.
here, looks like there's dirt or grime that's kind of in the build-up and right in that embossed piece there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the edge, some edge loops on the wouldn't go astray. So good job. So that one's 24260, and then we've got this guy.
Atari.
Old school.
This is the first game controller I ever played on. My neighbors had Atari. It's great. It's good vendors.
Got a little 3D viewer.
Yeah.
Taking a load. Not too sure. Yeah, there we go. Slowly.
Yeah, the chord looks good on it too. Like you could see, like there's a nice where like it's kind of like what Nor was doing too, where you could see the details in the actual plug. There's some like obviously like breakup on the cord from like a roughness and metallic standpoint. You could see like the dust and smudges. I like it. I think this is a really nice. I mean, it would be nice to if I'm looking at this. The one thing it's missing, but you do have it submitted twice. So let me go ahead and look at the other one because there's two submissions for this one. In the future, only have one submission. It makes it so much easier for us. But if I go down, like so, the other submission, if you go to its main page, has like more modeling and like workup of it. But one thing I was kind of curious of, but just next time, just throw in some reference, and then like everything you're doing is looking good, but throw in some reference, and then also tell us like, it tells us what you're making, but I don't know what software. Okay, wait, are you doing it? Yeah, you don't tell us the software you used. So just little things like, hey, but like Alan was saying, the first thing you want to do before is just go straight down to the reference. So if I know what you're trying to make and I know what software you're using, it makes it easier for us to give you critiques. But overall, it's really well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, actually, what I do like and is that detail that he's done on the actual chord. You can see there how just I think if we go back into this one here, you can see that roughness breakup on the chord and how that translates into the final ring. You can see there, right? You've got that breakup. Yeah. If anything, it's too harsh. Stuff like that just needs to be really subtle, and you can see that it comes out there. It probably needs to be about 50% of what that is there. You might have a section of it that is like that, where it's that rough. But to be honest, when it gets into the blurred bit, it just see how it just gives you that nice breakup, and it's not it's not clean and it fits into this world. But I'd probably dial that back by about 40-50%. But great job. Just the close-up renders, seeing all that detail, it all fits. And so, it's a really simple asset, but it shows that you nailed it. And that's what, when somebody's reviewing your work in a studio, they just want to know that you've got a complete asset that you've done, and you've absolutely nailed it. So very, very
quality
cool.
over quantity.
That's it. T4289, and then we've got this guy. We're down to the last couple.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone has any questions, just throw them into the chat. Jay, I'm going to go down to the bottom. Is there a reference for this guy?
Yeah, so there's no reference for this. So that, like, sometimes when we're looking at people's stuff, I also want to kind of use it as an example of. So this one's an example of, I think it's a great model. It's nice that you're using the slider. It's cool to see your progress using it. Nice little fun way. It's fine. It looks like it's new, but it also looks like it is a little bit flat in terms of its textures, in terms of like the roughness and metallic map. So, the color and the tessellation and everything straight on, it's great, but really start to use those roughness, those like the normal maps and stuff to really make the surface types feel a little bit different, because right now it just feels flat, but everything else is looking great. And then one thing I would say that really would help is, again, this is another example of reference. We all think we know what a Nintendo controller looks like, the original ones, but once you start to see how light reacts to it and, subtle discolorations, even if you're presenting it as new, like a product one, like Alwyn kind of said before, when we were looking at the Switch, it has to be perfect in terms of even the lighting on it. So right now it just feels like it's kind of like a flat clay render in a way, because there's little surface details getting popped off in terms of like the subtle bumps to make it feel like, hey, this is like a harder plastic. This has got that, shiny little button. Does that make sense?
Does to me. Cool, and we'll do this guy here, which is our last one, Jay. I'm going to go down the bottom again just to see if there's any reference. There is. Yeah, cool. So just going to have a look at the actual final renders just to see how. So we can see we've got a little 3D viewer here, which is cool. We can play through that, see how it all looks. We've got our UVs laid out there. Nice and tight. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then
the 3D render looks good too.
Yeah, I mean,
I like this one.
You always get an extra point in there to throw when you throw a Rockies logo in there. But if we have a look at, let's have a look at. There's a few little, feels like a few little modeling issues just around the button there. Again, you've got the glow happening. It feels like it's, in the right spot. Well, that button feels good. Oh, but is that the refraction going on there? Is that a clear button? Is that what's going on there, Jay?
Yeah, it's a clear button. I think the normally actually looks pretty tight. It might have just been that one render, because I'm looking at the wireframes right now. They look.
Oh yeah, you can see there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good wireframe. No, I like this one. I think it's well done. Good attention to detail, good presentation. You're using all the tools that are given to you in terms of like showcasing stuff. You're showing us your UVs. You're showing us your reference. You got you got it in Sketchfab. You also have the sliders showing us the wireframes. No, it's good. You use Marmoset use Substance Painter, use Maya, so you identified what you actually used it as well. So this is an example of like another, it's a focused example of like a prop giving us everything we need in terms of wireframes, UVs, and all other fun stuff. So really good job.
Yeah. I need to look at, that's the button on the other side, yeah. Just not too sure how transparent that actual button is, whether it is that transparent, Jay.
I don't know. I haven't used one of those ones for a long time.
Yeah, but no, it's in terms of it being.
And someone said they just submitted theirs like a minute ago. Which one was that? Which one is yours, Gabaruni?
Yeah, let's have a look with the drills. I'm on. If you can just post it into Discord, and then I can pick it up from there rather than having to go. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I'm putting it inside Discord. I'll put it inside our chat.
Okay, cool. pull that
I put
up.
it in the private chat.
All right, cool.
It's a game. It's a game.
GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Open to that. Oh,
Oh,
cool.
actually, you Gabe or Rooney just wanted to have it to flex and be like, "Hey, look at mine, semi see through."
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool. The bottom one is pretty right. You know what? It's like
Yeah.
it the render at the bottom looks cool. I wish you would flip it over so I can see. It's cool seeing the progression of everything. Um, I can
Yeah,
see part
you
of it.
just love to see the internal workings, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because it's cool that you have that kind of stuff going. The controller itself, I feel like the noise, the
Oh, you
roughness,
can see it there. Not too bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
the noise that you have going on the controller itself, tone it down. I feel like it's a little bit too strong. Um, like that
Oh,
bump.
yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
again,
just a little.
it's another one of those examples like Alan was saying with the controller being, it looks like it's got some wear and tear and dirt on it, but the cord looks completely clean. So if it was to have that kind of attention that Nora had in the Super Nintendo one, or that we had in the Atari one, it would have felt, because the cord, it's a cool, like the way you modeled it and laid it out looks great. It just looks brand new compared to the controller.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually, I was just going to go back to that window. I think, there's some really good wear on the buttons, and that's what I was sort of talking about before. You can see, there's color difference in the edge to what the actual, plastic is, which is great. Some really cool discolorations going on there. The buttons work really well, but yeah, the overall noise, that bass bump that's going on is just a bit too strong, and like even would be probably softer on the edges.
It's
But
really
yeah,
cool seeing the model. Like if you look up and look at the progression shots to see,
mm-hmm.
you have like these earlier models up top where you have it like broken apart, and we can kind of see what you're doing with the internal. Like keep going, Alan. I don't know if you saw the gray ones. Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah,
Like, so
yeah.
it's
It's a
cool to
lot
see
going
that.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I would do like nicely rendered one, just open it up so people can see that kind of stuff too. But look at all the detail you actually did do. Um, so dirty up the cord a little more and the plug. I reduce the noise just a little bit, and maybe tile it as well, just a little bit more, so it doesn't seem as intense.
yeah.
But I'm
See,
liking it.
I
It's
even
cool.
love that stuff. Like even at the start, there's dirt that's actually blocking. That's actually embedded in there. Stuff like
Yeah,
that. That's attention
yeah,
to detail, right? That's really showing that you've observed your reference. I mean, whenever I'm texturing anything, I'll make a big list first, and I'll study something until I'm sick of it. But I'll write down every little detail that's on there, and then I go through and I make sure that, because you like Jay said before, sometimes you look at something and you just create it based on what you think it looks like. It's really handy to have those notes and that checklist to go through and make sure that you're nailing it. And it's that attention to detail that when you present your work in front of somebody in the studio, they'll go, "That is cool," and it actually even looks like maybe he's got that in there. I'm going to go back to the. Yeah, see, you've even actually done some of that, which is great. It's just that overall bump that's killing the actual detail. Overall, it's too high frequency. It needs to be brought down a little bit. But yeah, that's good. It wasn't obvious because it's all white to me the first time I've seen that. You can see that you've actually looked at that and added something into that start. It would be good to get some close up, which is. Yeah, they're not really high res images, but no, great job, excellent. You've considered the cord needs some work, but yeah, another 10%, and that's a really cool asset to have for your portfolio.
yeah.
Nice one. All right, Jay, crunch time, man. Where you going?
All right, so I think let's get our top three.
Yeah,
My top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My top 6 are going to be the Commodore,
yeah,
the blue GameCube controller, the Power Glove, the Switch controller, the Atari controller, and the PlayStation Move. And I'd say my top 3 are going to be the PlayStation Move controller. I would say then the Power Glove,
Yeah.
and then I would say the Atari controller. The
Yeah.
other ones, like the Switch one is good, except for fix the button, give us some more reference, like just a little more exploration stuff. The GameCube controller, I actually, that's the tough one because I really like the GameCube controller as well. But it's like what you said when I started looking at the wear and tear. It's like it needs to get it more a little bit over the place, and the wire kept on throwing me off. It's super close, but I'd say the blue GameCube controller would be number 4.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got this guy at number 4.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
for me.
then,
Whatever.
yeah, and sorry, and you've got the Commodore, and you've got the this one here, right?
No, I got the Atari at number 3.
Yeah, number 3. So I'm just going to put this in order so we've got it. So you got that guy there, and the gloved wheels.
That one's number 2, and I think
Yeah.
the PlayStation Move in general. Actually, you know what? It's a tie. The PlayStation Move and the Power Glove. I think they're both really well done. I know that there's more details and stuff in the Power Glove, but just the way that the PlayStation Move is rendered and presented is really, really nice as well. But I do appreciate the presentation of the Power Glove as well. So it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I actually really like the Atari game controller.
Yeah.
Just because of the level that just went, just picked up on that additional detail. Thought the presentation, the close renders were really nice. Overall, just had a good presentation of the actual asset. And again, it just shows that a simple thing can be done really, really well. And I think for me, that's probably my 1 or 2. This was done very nicely as well. I think it was just a couple of little aspects with the modeling that could have been tweaked up. Final presentation on there was quite nice. I think he's probably number 3 for me. And my winner would be, I think it was, that one had a few, not that guy. We've got him already. And I think, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, Jay.
I know.
Which one are you going? The glove?
You know what? I think the glove was really fun. The PlayStation Move 1 was a really, really nice one, but I think the glove was just a lot of fun. So I would do Power Glove first and PlayStation Move second, or we can do PlayStation Move third. And I do like the simplicity of the Atari one, but I think the PlayStation Move one did really well too. John Rod 3D, which one is yours? Because we had a large amount of entries and we just did the top 9. But if you want us to take a look at yours, we can take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, just post it in the chat and we can have a quick look.
Yep.
All right, cool, man. So we're going to go 1, the glove. And which one was your second, Jay?
Let's do Atari. Yeah, that was good.
Okay, cool. Is John going to throw his up? Let's see if he does. We'll give him a minute. Let's go, John. Oh, there he goes. Good. Oh, let's just pull that. Oh, how do I grab that, actually?
Just type in 24236.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Excuse me.
24236.
Yep.
Let's have a look at John's. Oh yeah.
Well, all right. So we did look at yours. The biggest thing with yours was that we let me go ahead and pop it up. Scroll through it. It's well done. We have there's no breakdowns. There's no reference. We needed to see a little more. Scroll up even when you have right below with the slider.
Yeah.
The slider. There's no breakdowns. There's no wireframes. There's no breakdowns and reference use. There's no so your stuff looks great, but unfortunately this is why we're sticklers. I mean, the rookies drill starts up in a week, guys, and we're telling you right now from a professional standpoint, this is what we're looking for. We need to see those kind of things, or else most people, even it doesn't matter how good your asset looks, they won't look at it because they're going to be like they like to like if there's a stack of people showing you work, and then everyone's looks really good, they need to kind of have a cutting line of what gets through the gate. And usually what gets through the gate is the people who take the time to explain, show the reference, show their work process, like even the works in progress, the wireframes. That when I'm hiring people, that's what I look for. I need to see that. Even if someone does a great job, I need to see it. If they don't show it to me, it's kind of like, all right, cool. Well, these people did, so I'm going to focus on them. So my suggestion is do more, like show more of the process of it. Like, I think the PlayStation Move, and I think the top 3 people like did a really good job of showcasing how they made their content and their referencing on stuff. So, really pay attention to that, guys, because I'm hoping, by the way, that we're still going to have our weekly drills, but I'm hoping that when we start doing these, like when we start having rookie submissions, which you guys should all submit to, keep that in mind. Like we're blown away. Like you should see, like it's not often the scale of a project that blows us away. It's just something that's simpler, that's done well, that's presented well, and documented. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I mean, good job for getting it in. I think like Jay said, you've covered everything on it, mate. I think there was just some details that were missing on it. There was I think for me, I was looking at that the sort of leather material that's on the back, and is that stretching of UVs? Why is that so large there? I don't know if that was part of the design.
Yeah, and that's the kind of same thing, John. It's like this stuff looks great, but there's things that I have questions on that he has questions as well. That maybe if there's reference, and be like, oh, he did it exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's like so, and that's what happens when you don't show the work in progress. You leave it to people like me and Alwyn to assume or to guess, and you don't want to leave it like that.
Yeah. No, very cool for getting it in.
It's a great model. It looks awesome.
Yeah, if that's your first entry in for the weekly drills, awesome, man, great stuff. And you'll grow from this. Like just check out other people's. That reference is pivotal. The breakdown is pivotal. You just need to have those basics in there, and then you'll be racing in no time. But let's call that a day, Jay. Thanks very much for jumping on, man, and it's good to see you again. Thanks everyone for submitting their weekly drills. Hopefully you got some really good feedback with it, and great effort for everybody getting their work. And we know how busy everybody is, and to get an entry in is a fantastic result. So take care, and until next week, we'll see you then.
Bye bye.
See you, Jay.